Brought to you by Penguin.
My Roommate is a Vampire by Jenna Levine. Read by Gilli Messer.
For Brian, who always makes me laugh, and who is always up for adopting just one more cat. Chapter 1. Roommate wanted to share spacious third-floor brownstone apartment in Lincoln Park. Hello. I seek a roommate with whom to share my apartment. It is a spacious unit by modern standards, with 2 large bedrooms, an open sitting area, and a semi-professional eat-in kitchen. Large windows flank the eastern side of the apartment and provide a striking view of the lake. The unit is fully furnished in a tasteful classical style. I am seldom home after sundown, so if you work a traditional schedule, you will usually have the apartment to yourself. Rent, $200 per month. No pets, please. Kindly direct all serious inquiries to fjfitzwilliam@gmail.com. There has to be something wrong with this place. Cassie, listen, this is a really good deal. Forget it, Sam. That last part came out more forcefully than I'd intended, though not by much. Even though I needed his help, my embarrassment over being in this situation in the first place made accepting that help difficult. Sam meant well, but his insistence on involving himself in every part of my current situation was getting on my very last nerve. To his credit, Sam, my oldest friend, who'd long ago acclimated to how snippy I sometimes got when I was stressed, said nothing. He simply folded his arms across his chest, waiting for me to be ready to say more. I only needed a few moments to pull myself together and start feeling badly for snapping at him. Sorry, I muttered under my breath. I know you're only trying to help. It's all right, he said, sympathetic. You have a lot going on, but it's okay to believe that things can get better. I had no reason to believe that things could get better, but now wasn't the time to get into it. I simply sighed and turned my attention back to the Craigslist ad on my laptop. Anything that sounds too good to be true usually is. Sam peered over my shoulder at my screen. Not always, and you have to admit this apartment sounds great. It did sound great. He was right about that. But it's only $200 a month, Sam. So, that's a great price. I stared at him. Yeah, if this were 1978. If someone's only asking for $200 a month today, there are probably dead bodies in the basement. You don't know that. Sam dragged a hand through his shaggy, dirty blonde hair. Messing with his hair was Sam's most obvious I'm bullshitting you tell. He'd had it since at least 6th grade, when he'd tried convincing our teacher I hadn't been the one who'd drawn bright pink flowers all over the wall of the girls' bathroom. He hadn't fooled Mrs. Baker then. I had drawn that aggressively neon meadow landscape, and he wasn't fooling me now. How would he ever make it as a lawyer with such a terrible poker face? Maybe this person's just not home a lot and only wants a roommate for safety reasons, not income, Sam suggested. Maybe they're an idiot and don't know what they could be charging. I was still skeptical. I'd been scouring Craigslist and Facebook since my landlord taped an eviction notice to my front door 2 weeks ago for non-payment of rent. There'd been nothing available this close to the loop for less than $1,000 a month. In Lincoln Park, the going rate was closer to $1,500. $200 wasn't just a little below market rate. It wasn't even in the same universe as market rate. There are also no pictures with this ad, I pointed out. That's another red flag. I should ignore this one and keep looking. Because yes, my landlord was taking me to court next week if I didn't move out first. And yes, living in an apartment this cheap would really help me get on top of my shit, and maybe even keep me from ending up in this exact situation again in a few months. But I'd lived in the Chicago area for more than 10 years. No deal in Lincoln Park this good came without a huge catch. Cassie. Sam's tone was quiet, patient, and more than a little patronizing. I reminded myself he was only trying to help in his very Sam way and...
Sample complete. Ready to continue?